now watching Shot in 6 Times YouTube. You are now watching Shot in 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel.
I shot him 6 times. What is going on, horror fanatics? How's everyone doing today? Welcome to episode 3 of I Shot Him 6 Times Horror Podcast. Today we're going to be covering Crystal Lake, the Friday the 13th TV series that we know is in the works and should be out probably by, I want to say summertime, maybe fall time this year. And we are getting another Friday the movie. So definitely a lot coming on the 13th franchise. Another one of those classic, iconic horror franchise that is getting, a refreshing, a rehashing, and here for it. Very excited for it. Gotta love some Jason Voorhees. And what's really intriguing about TV series is that apparently it is going to be taking place before the events of the original 1980 film. So definitely, a lot to unpack there and a lot to get into as we do this live stream. But before we get into the crux of this live stream and talk some theories and predictions, early predictions for Friday the 13th, Crystal Lake TV series, you can't help but just call it Friday the 13th because that's just what it is. But before we get into the crux of the conversation, if you haven't done so already, please shoot this stream a like. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm a ton, as well as if you're a new viewer coming across this channel and stream, please shoot that subscribe button and become a community member. We'd love to have you here. We'd love to engage with you, listen to your theories, listen to your questions, all that good stuff, and talk some horror, as well as shoot that notification bell so you get all the notifications and all the content updates to the channel. I know I'm a little bit late. I was actually finishing optimizing my latest Scream 6 video, so sorry for that. I greatly appreciate everybody's patience. And let's get into it. Let's get into some of you guys' comments here before we start. Sorry, guys. I know, again, I'm late to my own funeral. It always happens. It's just always something, whether it's, at home stuff, family stuff, whatever, you know what I mean? Or putting together another video, doing some other content, and you kind of get, lost with time. It happens. I really appreciate you guys' patience and support. Okay, Blucka, what's going on, man? I don't know if you're still here, but great to see you. Hope we're having technical difficulties. It seems like things are a little bit slow right now. Blucka says, I thought about it. This was at 3:25, so this is before the stream was even supposed to start. But Blucka says, I thought about it, and I think a TV show about Jason and his family is such a bad idea. There isn't 13 hours per season worth of TV-worthy content in that universe. What made the franchise successful? I mean, I disagree with that. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think, especially given the comics and the fact that we know about, his father, I think that you can make an argument that you can actually write that into the story and create a whole new universe or a previous universe before the universe we know. So, I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think, if it's done right, you can grow to like it or grow to love it. But hey, I respect your opinion and all that stuff. I personally don't think it's a bad idea, though. I think it's a good idea. And especially given what we've got, Chucky franchise, that show, let's really be honest. We're going through a little lag. Here we go. Let's give it a second here. But anywho, seems like we're through the lag, at least for this time being. But anyway, at least what we've seen Don Mancini do with the Chucky, TV series, I feel like if you can, get creative while also adding new characters to the and tie it into the old story, and if there's some backstory that we don't know about, why not, why not develop it and get into it? I think it's a good idea. I don't mind it. I definitely think there's some story there in terms of, what leading into the events of 1980, what was Jason and Miss and Pamela Voorhees doing all those years? We got to keep in mind, Jason was born in 1946. That means by the time the first movie was made, he would have been 34 years of age. Now, I know in the movie they portrayed it as if he was still a little boy, obviously, especially with the ending and stuff, but he was 34 years of age. So there's all those years in between. And then we know we get at the beginning of the movie, if I'm not mistaken, what was it? 59 or 69, something happened. I'd have to watch the opening of the film. But we know that before the events of 1980, she committed a murder of camp counselors before to get the camp shut down. So there's all that time in between there that I think we can, create some story, and I'm really interested to see if they're going to incorporate his father. That's what I'm really interested into, is in terms of the backstory for the camp, well, for Crystal Lake TV series, is are they going to incorporate Jason's father or stepfather, whatever he is, in the comics? I think one comics they labeled him as a stepfather, the other it was like he's his real father. So either way, that's something I'd like to explore. I want to see what's up with his pops. Like, is his pops around in this time? I wouldn't mind it. I don't think it's a bad idea, Blucker. But hey, again, I respect your opinion. Thank you. What's up, Denisha? Hope you're having a great day. Yeah, it seems like this is being a little slow. Something like what I can see on the screen looks like everything's like fast. Like I'm actually like it looks like I'm on point, but when I'm pulling up the comments and all that stuff, it does seem a little slow. If I have to, if it's being if it's being laggy, guys, let me know in the chat and I'll just try to relocate and see if I can, get to a better spot in the house. But again, Denisha, I'm having a great day. Thank you for stopping in. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, now for some reason the comments ain't even popping up. That's weird. StreamYard's being a little slow. Okay, now the comments pull up. See, yeah, StreamYard's being a little slow. Here we go. Val Janowski, what's going on, Val? Hashtag the general. What's going on? Salute. Val says, sounds like we will get some backstory and some Jason. Yeah, I mean, from what they're saying, it's going to be something of the life and times of Pamela and Jason Voorhees, which I really find intriguing because we have all those years in between the events of 1980 to account for. Again, like I just stated, he was 34 years old at the time of the original movie was made. And then what? He'd have to be 35, 36 when the second movie was made. So, yeah, definitely. I think there's, some backstory to tell there. I definitely do. I'm all about it. Conrad's in the chat. What's going on, man? If you're still here, thank you for stopping in, my friend. I know I was late again, but once again, I was, trying to hurry up and finish my Scream 6 video that I have actually scheduled for 6:30 to air. So that's what took me a little bit long today in getting to this stream. I was trying to get that finished up as soon as possible, but it took me a little bit longer than I expected. Oh. Pull up this comment from so I'm hoping the Crystal Lake series will amp up some excitement for the Friday the 13th franchise and maybe get us another Friday the 13th movie. Now, see, what's interesting about that, Val, is from what I've read leading in, to the TV show, and there was an article about it that came out, is that they're actually trying to tie the TV show into the new film. Whether that's, true or not, and whether that can work. Now, another thing that was interesting as well is that they said that Sean Cunningham, even though he basically holds the rights, I guess, to the film, that the head of the studio is who calls the shots. So, and I know the head of the studio is working with Victor Miller on a TV series. So, from what they're making it sound like, is that the head of the studio has more pull than Sean Cunningham, and that he's basically giving the okay and pulling the trigger that the TV series will tie into the movie. Again, how true that is, I guess we'll find out when we get there. But I think we have a really good chance that the movie and the TV series are going to be tied in together, and that we will get a movie shortly after the TV series comes out. Again, remember, I mean, we don't know how true it is, but Sean Cunningham posted on his Cameo account that we're getting a new in terms of a film. So, again, whether that remains to be true, we'll have to find out. But I think it's very possible. I mean, guys, we talked about it in the first episode of this podcast. The success of Halloween 2018 is, David Gordon Green's iteration in general reinvigorated the old slashers, the legends. It reinvigorated it. At some point in time, I expected that Jason would be back into the fray. I expect the same for Freddy as well. How long that one will take remains to be seen. But fortunately, we are getting a new fan film from Dave McCrae and from Womp Stomp Studios. So Freddy is coming back to in some form of capacity via fan film. But in terms of a major motion picture, still remains to be seen how long that's going to take. But again, I'm excited. I'm excited for some Jason. It's about time. Bucket says, this chat here again, it's being a little bit slow. I just think going a serious tone for Friday the 13th is the exact opposite of what made it what it is today. Okay, but at the same time, when you really think about it, though, when you really put the first three films into a vacuum, they were, I mean, you can argue that once they got to the third film, it started to get a little bit more cheesy and a little bit more campy, but they were, in my opinion, they were all serious. Like, especially the original, that was a serious tone. I never looked at the first three films as just campy, fun, wonky, slasher films. I started feeling that way basically after the fourth one, because we got the Crispin Glover dance, and then obviously we get the New Beginning, where it's basically a fake Jason, and then obviously we get Jason Lives, which is my personal favorite out of the entire franchise. But there were some funny moments in that one. Rick, wherever the red dot goes, you bang. And, the sheriff with, his dialogue, one more word and you're going to spend your night in a pooch, or whatever he said, iron that punk. You know what I mean? Dialogue like that. That, to me, after the fourth film, that's when Friday the 13th started getting a little bit more on a campy side, to where that's where people, start labeling more campy, campy slasher. The first three films, in my opinion, were more serious. Especially the original, that was a serious tone, in my opinion. There was nothing in the original that had a slunky, campy feel to it, in my opinion. So, I mean, if you are more on the side that Friday the 13th is a campy, fun slasher, then maybe going in a more serious tone isn't for you. But I would remind you that at least I think if you rewatch the original, at least the original three, those were definitely more serious than the sequels after the third one. So again, I mean, if you're more on the side that you believe Jason is a fun, campy slasher that involves killing, naked women and other male camp counselors, then maybe going in a serious route isn't what you want to see. But again, I'd like to think that Jason, at least the first three films were a lot more serious than just campy and fun and kind of funny. But that's just my opinion. Wayne Turner, what's going on, Wayne? Glad to see you, my friend. I seen your comment earlier saying that you have the day off. That's what's up. I have the day off too. It's always great to have a day off work. Wayne Turner says if the series is terrible, it will have the nickname Crystal Lame. Yeah. I mean, sure. I mean, you could say that. However, I don't think it's going to be a lame, guys. Like, you guys got to think they got Kevin Williamson coming on for an episode. Now, I know it's not the entire season, which I would love. I feel like Kevin Williamson would be perfect writing a TV series or script for Friday the 13th. Because let's really be honest, Friday the 13th was about revenge. Mrs. Voorhees getting revenge on the camp counselors for letting Jason drown. And we know he's a great storyteller. I think he would be perfect to do a full-length script or an entire TV series, every episode, writing every episode. However, from what I've read, he's only doing one episode. So, but that's some legitimacy. A24 is no joke. Brad Fuller's not a joke. He's a good filmmaker. I don't think it's going to be lame. I don't. And you got Adrian King returning. Like, granted, all these things have to go right and everything has to come together correctly, but the groundwork is set pretty nicely. I think the groundwork is set pretty well. And I'm excited for it. Let's get to some more of you guys' comments. If you guys are still here in the chat, just leave a comment and let me know. For some reason, I think, StreamYard's being weird. It's like they're not showing me anything in terms of like viewers or anything. So if you guys are still hanging out here in the chat, just let me know you guys are here and all that stuff. Let's get down here to some more of you guys' chats. Blucka says Crystal Lame starring Jason Voorhees. That's funny. That's funny. Again, I don't think it's going to be lame. I really don't. I think it's going to turn out quite well. I'm confident. I'm not going to sit there and put it on a pedestal and say I have all these high expectations like maybe I have for Scream 6. Criticize for having high expectations for that. But I do think that we have the potential to come out with a really good TV series for Friday the 13th. I do. Especially with the groundwork that they have laid so far. So Blucka says, I just feel like if I'm watching the movie, I'm not going to want to watch a TV series about the exact same thing. I mean, I guess you can make that argument. But if they can find ways to add new characters while building around an old story and adding things we didn't know to that old story, much like Don Mancini was able to do with the Chucky TV series, I think, and now you could say, oh, well, then they're just ripping off his formula. I mean, yeah, you can make that argument, but at the same time, if it's going to be successful and the story writing is good and the kills are great, why not? Like, again, I feel like, what I mean, they can pull it off. And it's going to be interesting if the movie does tie in with the TV series. Is there going to be any characters from the TV series over into the film? And I mean, they say it's about the life and times of Pamela and Jason Voorhees, but for all we know, they could still go in other directions as well. Again, I think his father is a wild card to bring into this TV series. So we'll see. I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, Scream TV series, the third season, kind of, went back to the roots of what Scream is in terms of the movie. The first two seasons of Scream, they separated themselves very nicely and found a way to still make it feel like Scream, but make it their own. The third season, you were basically watching what you were seeing in the movies, in my opinion. So I get where you're coming from, Blucka, but I just feel like there's certain ways that you can make that work. And I feel like the Chucky TV series is a really good template to build off of if you're trying to go that route. And there it is, Wayne. I'm so behind. Super late. So again, I'm sorry, guys. See, I don't know why I just pulled that back down. But Wayne Turner says it is 8:10 a.m. Friday here in Sydney, Australia. No work today. In fact, I'm going to work weekends for about the next month doing sit down phone sales. Nice. Because in retail, my ankle needs rest. I know that right. I know that's right, man. Hey, listen, I'm a firm believer that if you sit down and make a buck or make as much as you're going to do standing up, why not do it? Some people may disagree with that, but I don't. You don't always have to kill your body to make a good living. Okay, so let's move on here. Go. Caught up with all you guys' comments and stuff. So let's talk about some early theories and predictions for Friday the 13th TV series. They are saying that it is going to be set basically before the events of 1980. I wonder if it's going to be set around the same time of the original murder. So what I'm going to do real quickly is actually I'm going to do of 1980s Friday the 13th, and I'm going to see what that exact date and year is in that opening scene, because I feel like that's a good building point off of what to expect from the TV series in terms of setting, because they said it's going to be before the events of the original film. So let's get it in here. Friday the 13th opening. Give me 1 second, guys. This being a little jumpy. 13th. All right, I'm going to cut the audio from it so it doesn't cause an echo or anything. Skip that ad. Okay, opening real quick. To what year this is being set in, or at least have an idea of what the TV series could be set in. Okay, come on. Why is this freezing up like that? Okay, I'm going to refresh it and then check it out again. We get to the part where, hold on, there we go. Crystal Lake 1958. Okay. So, the opening scene to obviously was in 1950. That means 4 years old. Now, do I set it that far back? No, I actually think they're going to set it. Maybe said something about that in the article or whatever and stuff, that they're going to be setting it in Mason 20. So let's say if they do it in 1969, if they set it in 1969, 11 years after the original murders, Jason would be 23 years old. So, I mean, could they set it back around that time? They could even set it before the events of the first murders. Now that I'm thinking about it, they might actually do that. What they might do is, I mean, if this is supposed to be about the life and times of Pamela and Jason Voorhees, I'd like to think we're going to get some backstory into his childhood as well as into her life working as a cook in the kitchen at the campgrounds. And we could very much well see him, a scene where he's drowning and the counselors aren't going to help him or aren't around to help him. They could definitely take it back that far if they wanted to. It's not impossible, especially if they're talking about they're setting this they're setting this TV series, years before the original film's setting takes place. So they could go with a really young Jason. How I'm starting to see this play out as I'm thinking about it is half the season might be showcasing Jason and her when he was like really young, growing up through the years. Maybe that's where we get some scenes where his father, his stepfather, whatever, Mr. Voorhees, I forget his original name. I'd have to look it up or whatever and stuff. But yeah, they could definitely, half the season, they would set it to where he's a child, all that stuff. You see him get drowned, and then they could, the other half of the season, years later, do a time jump to where maybe Jason's in his 20s, early 20s, and then bang, here we go. You know what I mean? With these new camp counselors and stuff like that. So definitely a lot of possibilities, in my opinion, that they could, some different directions they could take. Now, let's talk about Adrian King. Adrian King is returning, if you want to say, to the franchise, because this is going to be part of the Friday the 13th franchise. Adrian King is making her return. Now, the report is that she will have a reoccurring role. Now, I did share this theory the other day that I felt like maybe what if Adrian King's character would be Mrs. Voorhees, Pamela Voorhees. However, if they're going to set this back in the 50s and 60s, she would far be too old. Pamela Voorhees would probably be, here, I'm going to look it up right to see what Pam's born date is. Pam's okay, so 1930. Holy shit. So, yeah, she was young when she had Jason. Yeah, she was 16. She had Jason. Never knew that. This is the first time I'm looking up like her information, like the character's information, like in terms of date of birth and all that stuff. So I would like to think. So let's see what's Adrian King's age now. Yeah, she's up there. So age. Adrian King, 62 years old. Okay. So if they're gonna set this TV series of 1980, then Adrian King, there's no way she could be because she's far too old. Now, around the same time that the original film came out, then Adrian to play Pamela Voorhees, given her age or whatnot. But it's going to be interesting to see who she's going to be playing in this TV series because we know she's not going to be playing Alice. It's too old. Like, it's just not happening. So it's going to be interesting to see if she does play. Now, again, they could do it like half the season to where they're set into the like 1950s, 1960s, and then the other half of the season during the 1980s. So could she be Pamela Voorhees? Maybe, but they said she's going to have a reoccurring role. So I don't know. It would have to be based on where they're going to set the time. And from what I know, they're setting the timeline before 1980. And so that out as Mrs. Voorhees in this TV series. Uh-oh, we're starting to laugh. Uh-oh. That's a second. All right. All right, now let's see if that works. Hopefully it does. because I know it was getting a little laggy there for a second, and it looks like it still kind of is a little bit. Hopefully it straightens out because I am closer to the router. I have everything plugged in. I don't know. Thing be acting crazy. Okay, it seems like we got everything back under control. But yeah, so again, Adrian King's character, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see who she plays. Like I said, if they split the seasons, like they're going to set it one half of the season in the 1960s and then the other half in the 80s, then she could have a chance to be Mrs. Voorhees, you know, in the back half. But if they're saying she's going to have a reoccurring role from the jump, then I think that kind of X's her out as Pamela Voorhees. I do think that being that this is going to be set in a earlier timeline from 1980, that we're going to be getting a younger Pamela Voorhees. So let me get to some of you guys' comments. See, we got 7 people here in the chat. Now StreamYard's finally let me see everything after acting up. My Chunky Jordy says, what's up, Gina? I hope you're having a great day. Didn't Kevin sell his script for Scream 3 and it was used for a TV series? If I'm not mistaken, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but the script that was supposed to be for Stu for Scream 3 obviously didn't get used. And Kevin used it in the following TV series that starred Kevin Bacon. That was the word on that, is that Kevin used his Scream 3 pitch in the TV show the following. Blunkett says Brian Fuller is known for his slow-paced drama filled writing, Heroes, American Gods, Hannibal, Star Trek, and Dead Like Me. Yeah. There's nothing, see, the way I look at it, you know, there's nothing wrong with stepping outside of your element and trying something new and trying to see if you can flourish at something new. Now, this is obviously not really Brian's forte in terms of, like, you know, horror movies or horror, you know, dealing with anything horror. But I'm all for it. I'm all for something different. Let's see if he can bring something different and good to the Jason universe. I'm about it. Val says, Blucka, I felt very similar to how you feel about Friday 13th series, about the Scream series, and ended up missing out on till way after season 3 was released. Yeah, season 3, I had some reservations about it. Yeah, sure, they brought, you know, the official Ghostface costume. They had Roger L doing the voice. That's all great. But that story was shit. And I really wish they would finish the story from season 1 and season 2, the Brandon James story. Oh, okay. Tatum Yellow Dove. Okay. If I'm gonna assume this is you, Tatum, like Tatum Riley and all that stuff. She says hand pink waving, hand pink waving, hand pink waving. He shot him 6 times. Hey, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a while. It messed me up at first because I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was a bot. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was a bot. And everyone, if you haven't done so already, please shoot this stream a like. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm a ton, as well as share it to social media platforms and all that. It's greatly appreciated. Oh, that's a good question from Wayne. Will people accept Jason as the bullied wimp he must be in the series, though? I think a lot of people already kind of got an insight of that, Wayne, with Freddy versus Jason. And I think it helped people sympathize with Jason even more. Some people maybe not so much, but I think if you do it right, you can make that to where you sympathize with the character to where, okay, you understand why he does what he does, even if you don't agree with it or whatnot. And let's really be honest, most most badasses or psychos, whatever, they usually do get picked on, which is why they conjure up all that anger and resentment. And then when it comes out, all hell breaks loose. So, not, I mean, I think people would accept it. I think people would. Especially, and I'm going to tell you another reason why people would, especially if they bring his father from the comic books into the fray and he's abusive, in the series, like they kind of portrayed him in the comics. Because then if he was beating up on Jason, people are going to sympathize with that. Because then they're going to look at it like, damn, here's this kid. He can't catch a break. His stepdad or his dad, whichever one you want to call him, you know what I mean? He, abuses him, just, destroys his morale, etc. Then you got these cruel kids making fun of his deformity. So I think that could work in Jason's favor in terms of the audience sympathizing with him. Hey, Alyssa, what's going on? Hope you're having a great day. Yeah, it definitely does seem like we got things back in control so far in terms of the whole lag issue or whatnot. Comments are pulling up a lot faster and doesn't seem like, you know what I mean, it's slowing or anything right now anyway. Wow. I actually would like it. I like that, Blucka. Would even be hilarious if they got Mia Goth to play Pam. I'd love it. I mean, given her work as an X and Pearl and stuff. I didn't get to watch Pearl yet, but just her work in X, like I think she could pull it off. I do. That would be crazy, and it would add some credibility to the TV series. People would watch that, just like people went to watch Jenna Ortega because of Wednesday. You got something with that. Blucka says Mia Goth, I think, is around 150K, 300K per film current contract currently. Well, I mean, she's due for a raise, but if you can get her, as Blucka says right here, pretty easy for a TV series to give her that per year. Yeah, if they can, I mean, if they can swindle her away from wanting to go after the bigger paydays, then we got something here. Oh, that lines up perfect. Blucka says she gets 6 months free to do what she wants. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Sign me up for it. Val says much better for me, Marcus. I don't know what you're referring to, Val, but if you're referring to your day, etc., or the lag, that's great. But I'm hoping more so you're talking about your day. I hope you're having a fantastic day, Val. Oh, see, I didn't know that, Wayne. I didn't go that deep into her profile. Mia Goth's partner equals Shia LaBeouf. They have a child together. That's awesome. I've always been a big fan of Shia. I like Shia. I've always liked him since Even Steven. Yes, I went that deep into the archives. Don't make me talk about holes. Dig it up, holes. That was my shit as a child. Shia's the man. Like Shia. Oh, whoa. Melissa saying she might ruin this TV series if she is in it. I assume, Melissa, you are not a big fan of Mia Goth. Let me know in the comment section if I'm right, but I'm taking from that comment you are not a big fan of Mia Goth. I disagree with that. I think she would be fantastic as a young Pamela Voorhees. Holy shit. What's going on, Bob? Hey, buddy, it's been a while. And yes, the following was what was Stu Scream 3. Yeah, I kind of figured that. Yes. What's going on, Bob? I got to get a hold of you or whatever because I'm gonna send you an invite. I got to put everything together. I got to invite a few people, but I'm doing a Scream 6 glow in the dark party live stream. Maybe have some trivia. Maybe, you know what I mean, if people want to have a couple drinks on the live stream, shots for questions, something like kind of what we did on Craven's live stream all those months ago, something like that. I'm still putting everything together, but I will definitely get a hold of you about that. That will be fun, in my opinion. Like I said, ever since I got my glow in the dark Scream shirt, as soon as I saw it, I was just like, man, that would be cool to have a glow in the dark live stream party. So definitely going to put that together. Oh, Melissa. I named our pig Kevin Bacon. I like that. I like that. Kevin Bacon's awesome. There's no problem with naming an animal after Kevin Bacon. Oh, that's interesting, Blucka. Get Shia to scream to Mia Golf. Just do it. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm on board for that. Mia Golf would be great as a young Pamela Voorhees. Wayne Turner says Shia LaBeouf and Mia Goth opening kills as a couple for Scream 7. I mean, the star power's there. So, I mean, why not? Right, Bob? That's what I'm saying, man. You know what I mean? I'm hunting for entertainment. Bob says, ain't gonna lie, I'm still excited for Crystal Lake. Yeah, me too, man. I think there's a lot of possibilities. I think there's a lot of different directions they could go if they wanted to in terms of the backstory. I'm really interested. Now I got it in my head. I'm really interested to see if they are going to incorporate Elias Voorhees. I think he's the wild card, man. Like I do. I'm really interested to see if they're going to introduce his stepfather into this. If they're going to go to comic book route. Hey, calm down, pups. Calm down. It's okay. Oreo, calm down, baby. Calm down. I know you're getting excited. It's okay. Uh-oh. The dogs are coming to crash the stream. But yeah, Bob, I'm excited for it too. I'm excited to see what role Adrian King's going to play. I'm excited to see what episode Kevin Williamson's going to be writing. I wish he was writing the entire TV series, like every episode. It would be really nice, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think they said he's only on the board for one episode. Blucka says, if he was beat up and then drowned, you would feel bad. But if he falls into the water or something dumb and drowns, I will think missed opportunity. I kind of agree with that. Yeah, I do. Especially if you are trying to gain sympathy for the Jason Voorhees character. Yeah, I can agree with that. If you just have him fall into the water and he knows he can't swim, so why should he, be around the water anyway? That would be a missed opportunity. I agree with that. Yeah, wait. Yeah. Oh, wait, that was good. This is good. Wayne Turner says, get Shia LaBeouf to play Jason's dad. Just tell Shia to be himself. That's great. Oh man. That was funny. I can't lie. That was a good one. That was a good one. Hunting for Entertainment says, I would accept it, but we need the father should be in it and abusing him, having more Pamela in it as well. No, I agree. I agree full-heartedly with that, Bob. I do. And I think there's opportunity to explore that. I think there's opportunity to explore that relationship between Elias and Pamela. I do. Whether they decide to go that route obviously remains to be seen, but I'm all for it, man. I think they should pull that trigger. Gina says, I'm having a good night. You and Night, you and Night are my pup soothers with your voice. Oh, I appreciate that. Though my voice is nowhere near as smooth and melodic and you know just straight line as Night. Night got that. He's got the voice. You know what I mean? Like you could put Night on any advertisement and it would sound right. Like you just could. He has that type of voice. But I appreciate that compliment, Gina. I really do. She says he was running around barking like a nutter until I put you on, and then he dived into bed and closed his eyes. Oh, that that just that makes my day, honestly, knowing that. That's awesome for real. Knowing that my voice could be the soother to a dog wanting to calm it down and go to sleep. Man, makes me laugh, but it touches my heart at the same time. I would never assume that my voice would carry that much power. Honestly, that's what's up. That's awesome. Oh yes, yeah, I kind of figured that too, Val. No lag for me now that you've moved. LOL. Yeah, I think what it is that I just got to be closer. Even though my cord is plugged into the router, obviously I just have to be closer to the router. So, which I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of makes me want to, kind of carve out a space in this particular area of the house and set up my posters and all that stuff, and so I can have a better background as well. Because I definitely do want to get my posters and everything up because I've tried with the green screen and it's just I don't know if it's just because I need a better computer that holds more RAM space, has more power, but the green screen causes it to lag and it's just like I'm not dealing with it. I'm just not. Bob says, "Oh, I'm down for that." Yeah, man. Absolutely. I think that will be very fun. And it's something you don't really get to see. When do you really see glow in the dark live streams? You know, I'm all for it. Blucker asks, so do you think they will tie Jason's death into the Necromonicon or Freddy in some slight nod or just being direct and showing us? I think they'll be more direct, if anything. I think if they really want to make this and reinvigorate Jason and Pamela, it has no, it shouldn't have any tie to Freddy, in my opinion. Excuse me. That's just my opinion, though. I think his death will be more direct. It's okay. Calm down. It's all right. I know you hear people. Nice. Yeah. I think you said that. Yeah, I think you mentioned that before, Gina. That's hard. I like that. Ziggy Marley's cool. Oh, you guys had me fooled. You guys had me fooled the whole damn time. Lucky says Mia Goth and Shire aren't a thing. We were just saying they would be a great crazy couple on screen. Okay. I can agree with that. Well, shit, you guys had me fooled, so good one. I thought you were real. Russie Shipley. Hey, thank you for stopping in. Or Russie Shipley. Sorry, Russie. My bad. I know some people spell it that way and say Rusie. That's why I said it that way. Russie Shipley says, it's been too long since we had a Jason movie. I agree. Calm down, Pops. It's all right. Y'all hear and see people every day. There's no reason to do that. Hey, calm down. Get over here. Y'all can hang out with me for a second. Come on. Come on, Rosie. Rosie, baby, come here. Yeah, that's right. Calm down. It's okay. It's all right, Rosie. It's all right. Calm down, baby. It's all right. But yeah, it has been way too long since we had a Jason movie, Russ. And that's like I was saying earlier in the stream, apparently they're going to tie in the TV show to the movie. So should be interesting. Oh, well, see, now you guys are giving me mixed feelings because I'm seeing in the chat that Shia and Mia are back together or something like that. Hey, calm down. Calm down. Sorry. Calm down. Lord. Oh, Lord. Anyway. But yeah, I'm seeing now in the chats that I guess they are a thing. So what are they? Are they? I'm about to look this up. You guys got me about to look this up now. But real quick, Bob from Hunting for Entertainment says they really do need to because it shows so much of how he became what we know. I agree. I think it would paint a vivid picture on us seeing the monster that Jason became. I agree with that. Hey, calm down. Relax. Okay. Okay, so I guess Shia and Mia are still back together. Okay, according to Wayne Turner. Okay, well, we're leaving it at that. They're back together. They worked it out. Okay, so Rusty, real quick, I'll answer the Scream question for you, buddy. What's your opinion on Scream 3D? Worth it? I've already got my tickets. I mean, hey, calm down, please. Come here. I'll settle this right now. Come here. Come here. Y'all got to be separated. You keep messing with your mom, and she doesn't want to be messed with. Say hi, Oreo. But yeah, to answer your question, it's not that I don't think it'll be worth it. It's just I feel like they put so much hype into 3D, and we like every 3D movie that I've seen ever since My Bloody Valentine has kind of flopped for me. Like the effects aren't that great. Now, it could be different where you're at. You know what I mean? Maybe, your theater is a little bit better, has, better, technology for 3D theaters and all that stuff. I don't know. But I don't know, man. Ever since My Bloody Valentine 3D, I feel like 3D effects is overrated. Like I've never gotten to feel that everything in 3D is actually really worth it, because it just My Bloody Valentine in 3D, like everything was coming at you. I felt like that was a 3D experience. Ever since then, hey, calm down. Ever since then, sorry for being rudely interrupted. The dogs are barking. They will do this because they hear people. But ever since My Bloody Valentine 3D, I just don't feel like 3D effects do what they're supposed to do. Every other movie I've seen in 3D, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 3D, weak as hell with the 3D effects. Like I'm sorry, if I'm watching something in 3D, I want to see the blood look like it's splattering on me. I want to see a hand come out, look like it's about to smack me in the face. I want to see a knife when it goes to cut somebody's throat. I want it to feel like it's right there by my throat, and it just glanced. I don't get that experience with 3D, outside of My Bloody Valentine all those years ago. So I'm not trying to diminish, the fact that you got 3D tickets. I hope it's worth it, especially for Scream, because I think, especially if we get what a lot of us have been predicting, which is a cult of ghost faces, man, that would look very, very cool in 3D. So hopefully it is worth it, my friend. Hopefully the money you spent on it is worthwhile. Fingers crossed, for real. Like, I'm just telling you from my experiences going to, try to see films in 3D. The only one that I got the real 3D satisfaction with, in my opinion, was My Bloody Valentine in 3D. That was badass 3D effects. I felt like I was in the movie with how much shit was flying at me. It was cool. Oh, okay. Real quick, Melissa. They're basically Shih Tzu, Jack Russell, Poodle, and Chihuahua mix. Yeah, crazy. They got everything. Great dogs, though. Not gonna lie. Bark a little bit, because they'll hear people. They're alert. I give them that. They're really alert dogs. But outside of that, they just really be chilling. I don't really have no issues with these dogs. The only time I really have an issue is when my dog Don, when I let him out, to go do his business. If he sees a squirrel or a cat, a stray cat, you know, he'll run after it, and it's kind of like an open back way in my yard. So I kind of have to chase after him to make sure he doesn't get hurt. But for the most part, they're pretty good. That's why I just started taking him out on his leash, because I had the issue with him running out, and there's an open space to where cars and stuff come, and that's the last thing I want is for my boy to get hurt. So I had to start taking him out on the leash myself and stuff because my dog he's a roamer. This dog loves to run. He just does. I've never seen a dog love the outdoors and love running around so much. That's why I take this dog to the dog park sometimes so he can get some air and run around and have some fun. He'd be doing his thing. But the one I showed you guys on screen, that is his daughter, Oreo. She's still a baby. She's still a pup. She can't step outside a hole like that just yet. She's still eating puppy food. She can't even have regular dog food, even though she tries. Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. That's funny. Bucket says, you know what couple always amazes me is Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. Yeah, I mean, still kicking in after all these years. I know, right, Val? That would be so much fun. A glow in the dark party. Yes, it would be. Get some trivia going, you know what I mean? Do some other things, maybe, you know what I mean? Like guess the killers and shit like that. Like, I think it would be a really great time. I think this is where they should go, in all honesty. Gina, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a while since I really sat down and watched Freddy versus Jason. But isn't that how Jason ended up in the water in Freddy versus Jason? Was like the kids basically bullied him out to the board, and then basically he fell in. But either way, I think that would be the best route for them to go. Is that Jason was bullied, and then basically they threw him in the water, knowing he couldn't swim. Because again, it creates sympathy for the character, especially if they add that element of his father or his stepfather, whatever you want to call him, Elias, and he's depicted the way to depict him in the comics as abusive and stuff like that. Well, then you really can gain a lot of sympathy for the Jason Voorhees character. And in so many ways, even though he's supposed to be the villain, you will also kind of see him as somewhat of a hero to a degree. Can work both ways. Yep. Yeah, that's also what they have in him too. Jack Russell as well, Jordy. Definitely, they do. They have Jack Russell. So let me reiterate that. Jack Russell, Chihuahua, Poodle, and Shih Tzu mix. Four different types of entities in these dogs I have. I see it, Wayne. About to be shocked again. Me and Goth and Shia LaBeouf are a couple and have a child together. Okay, so yeah. So that is official. Cool. All right, let me catch up to these chats here because I know I'm a little bit behind. Oh, Jordy, that's no good. I can't watch 3D. It hurts my eyes. That's no good. It's no good at all. Again, the 3D experience is cool. It's just it would be a lot cooler if they just made it look as realistic as they did with My Bloody Valentine in 3D. I thought the 3D was perfect for that film. Other films they tried it with, it's just like hit or miss. Like, and it's more or less miss for me. Because again, like I said, if you're going to do this in 3D, I want body parts flying at me. I want blood splatter. I want it all. I want decapitated heads. I want it all. I want to feel like I'm right there getting my fucking head cut off. I do. Like, that's what the experience is supposed to be about. Chip Chipperson, great show, boys. Hey, what's going on, man? Thank you for commenting. Thank you for stopping in. Now, Chip, if I think this is the Chip that I know, back home, my friend Eric, hit the comment section and let me know if I'm correct, because I mean, could be a different person, but this sounds like this would be my buddy Eric, Chip Chipperson. It just does. It sounds like this would be you, buddy. And if it is, I appreciate you for stopping in and showing your support, my man. But I could be wrong. And the reason why I say that, because if I am wrong, Chip Chipperson, I apologize, but I have a friend here at home who we call Chip. And if he was going to create a YouTube handle, he would create that type of name, Chip Chipperson. He would. So, you know what I mean? Okay, so I'm going to say now that I know, yeah, it's not my friend from back home, because you're asking how old is my dog or whatever, and he knows that and stuff. But hey, good conversation real quick. I really thought you were my friend Eric for a second. I'm not going to lie. But he is Don is 3 years old. My dog Don, he is 3 years old. Rosie, I believe, is around the same age, or she's about to be 3. And then obviously their daughter, she's born in October. So she's what? November, December. She's gone basically 4 months now. So, but yeah, Don Boy is 3 years old. In dog years, he's 21, meaning he's legalized to have a drink. I'm terrible, I know. Oh man. Yeah, Melissa, Scream 6 is 3D. Yeah, it is. And real quick, I seen Wayne had to head out. Let me pull this up real quick. Wayne Turner says, sadly, I got to go. Thinks I shot him 6 times. And everyone in the chat, me and Shia forever. Enjoy and buy all. Cheers. Hey, buddy, thank you for stopping in and hanging out and, conversating as you always do, Wayne. It's always great to see you, my friend. And you enjoy the rest of your evening. Be safe. Also, Wayne, if you're still here by any chance, tune in at 6:30 for my latest Scream 6 video. I have that uploading at 6:30, which will basically be after this stream. About to say, all right, guys, I know I was a little bit late today and stuff, and usually you guys know I would make up those extra minutes that I was late. However, I am not going to be able to do that on this stream today because I do have some at-home stuff to take care of, like laundry and adult things to do and stuff like that. So, like, I'm on a time schedule here. So we're going to go until the scheduled time, 6 o'clock or whatnot and stuff like that. So we still have 29 minutes here on the stream, but we're going to end this at 6 o'clock, which was the normal end time that I had. But I ended up being a little bit late. And again, I would usually, make up for that, but I can't on this stream today. But I'll definitely have to make it up on the next stream. Maybe the next podcast episode I do will be 3 hours, or maybe I'll do an extra live stream this week, and that will be the makeup for me being late to this stream and all that. Because, I always try, even if I'm late, I always try to give you guys the full 2 hours worth of content that I set out for. You know what I mean? It's just, unfortunately, today it's just everything's what you would call a clusterfuck. So, but either way, I was still able to, come on here for a little bit. Let's talk some, Friday the 13th. Let's talk some Crystal Lake and have some good conversation. I appreciate everybody who's stopped into the chat. Yeah, I'm not seeing it in 3D neither, Val. I don't want to see it in 3D. And the reason why I don't want to see it in 3D is because I don't want to get distracted from the story and the clues of certain theories that we've had and all that stuff going into this film. I want to be able to pay attention to just regularity. I don't want to be looking all like, oh my God, there's 4 or 5 ghost faces around me. Like, I mean, I just, I don't want to see that unless it's like the ending and it's a cult. I don't want to, the effects of 3D, especially if it's great effects. I don't want that to fuck up my judgment. You know what I mean? So, shit, hold on real quick. Get that. But yeah, I'm not going to see it in 3D neither. Michael Joe in the chat. What's going on, buddy? Hope you're doing great today, man. Thank you for stopping in. Now, I agree with that. Blucka. I feel like Blucka says, I feel like Final Destination is a good franchise for 3D. I agree. I agree. Bob says, have a great day to Wayne. Bob says he's going to try to watch both versions. I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, why not get that full experience? And I'll put it this way: maybe after the first time going seeing it, if it's good enough, I'll go watch it again, and then the second time I'll watch it in 3D. But the first time, I want it to be regular. I want to be able to focus and hone in on stuff that we've discussed, here on the channel and over the last basically year since Scream 5 on what could happen and what to expect and theories and all that stuff. Like, I want to be locked in. Like, this is going to be me in the movie theater. Leaning forward, not leaning back, just Marcus, you want some popcorn? Fuck that popcorn. Marcus, you going to take a sip of your fuck that drink? I'm paying attention. Fuck those snacks. Fuck the candy. Fuck all that shit. I mean, I'm literally going to be like so like ingrained into what's going on. Like, that's why I don't want to fuck up my first time watching it in 3D. But hey, whoever does go see it in 3D, let me know how it is. Like, let me know if it's official, like if it looks great. Because like I said, I have my reservations because sometimes, they'll hype up, oh, this movie's in 3D. It's going to be amazing. And then you get there and it's just like, why did I spend the extra money on 3D tickets when the 3D effects ain't that great? So. Okay, so we're turning this into a little Scream talk. Okay, I don't mind it. We can veer off for Jason for a second. I mean, it is what it is. We don't have too many details on Jason as it is now. We'll talk more about it, obviously, when we get there. You know what I mean? And stuff. So, I mean, let me answer this question, and then I do want to kind of get back into some Friday the 13th or Crystal Lake talk anyway. Blucka says, do you think they will bring in the Carpenter parents in Scream 6? Or is that just forgotten material? That is forgotten material until Scream 7. In my opinion. That's just me. I think in Scream 7, we're going to return to Woodsboro, and then we're going to get introduced to Christina, possibly, who's Angelina, possibly. There was a big conversation going on in Knight's live stream earlier about that, about Angelina actually being Christina Carpenter. Something that I'm actually going to do a video about eventually as well. But, I mean, I think it is going to be forgotten material in Scream 6, but in Scream 7, it's going to be revisited. I hope in Scream 7, it's revisited. If they go and never reveal who the hell Christina Carpenter is, I think it would be a massive missed opportunity. And it just, to me, it wouldn't make any damn sense. We know for a fact she's not dead. So why not bring this character in? You know what I mean? Now, the stepfather, you know what I mean? Well, Tara's dad and Samantha's stepfather, Mr. Carpenter, he's a wild card because we don't know if he is alive or dead. So we'll see, man. I don't think that, I do think that in 6 they're not going to really be mentioned. Maybe we'll hear a phone call from Christina or something like that, or see she's trying to call Tara and Sam and they don't answer. But I don't think we're going to get an in-depth like telling of Christina Carpenter or Mr. Carpenter until Scream 7. It is, Michael Joe. Final Destination franchise is coming back. Apparently, there's another one in the works. And if I'm not mistaken, they're trying to get Devon Sawa back, if they haven't already. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, I'm excited for that as well. All these old school franchises are making a comeback, and it's a good thing to see. It's a good thing to see, only if it works, right? If it doesn't work, then it's like, and it kind of sucks because it's like the old school phrase: one bad apple spoils the whole bunch. This is why I say Scream 6 has to hit, because Halloween Ends failed so miserably, in my opinion. So, but all right, guys. So we got 21 minutes left here on the stream, okay? So I'm going to ask you guys, and I want you guys to hit the chat with you guys' opinions and thoughts, or whatever you want to call it. What do you guys want to see most out of this new Crystal Lake TV series? What is the number one thing you guys want to see the most? What is the number one thing you want to see them explore in this TV series? Especially if we're going back in the past, if we're kicking it back before the events of 1980. What is the number one thing you want to see them do with this TV show? Okay, Michael Joe says a young Pamela Voorhees. I definitely do think we're getting a young Pamela Voorhees. I do. If they are setting this in the late 60s, which I believe they are, now she wouldn't be super young, but she'd be what? Okay, so let's just say 69. That's 11 years before the events of 1980. She was born in 1930, so she'd be 39. All right, so that's not so young. Okay, so what you're basically saying is maybe a young Pamela Voorhees, to where we see her about to have Jason, because I said it earlier, she was 16 years old when she had Jason. So is that something you would want to see them explore Pamela's childhood? Maybe explore a little bit of Pamela's backstory before we get, the story of her getting pregnant with Jason. And in that sense, if they go the route that they're going to make Elias Voorhees Jason's biological father, then you would almost have to bring him into that fold. Bob says Elias and more of Jason's childhood. I agree with that. I like that. I like I said, I'm totally on board for Elias. Let's go. Bucket says not much to explore with Jason, to be honest. We know that what drives him and why he's immortal. We've seen movies do how he get every mask. We've seen how he got his weapon. Yeah, but let's really be honest. Did we really get to see that in depth? Like, we may know why he does what he does. You know what I mean? In terms of killing the camp counselors because they let him drown. But is there more backstory into abuse and all that stuff? Because let's really be honest. They look at Jason as a monster. They look at Jason as a monster. They don't sympathize with Jason. Even though this is a kid that was drowned, they don't sympathize with Jason. If you can give us a backstory that shows that this kid went through hell and high water just to even have a life, I think you can enhance the character into that anti-hero. He's not a villain. He's not a good guy. He's in between. I think you can go in that direction for Jason Voorhees. I really do. And that's something I think they can explore in this TV series. But that's just me. That's just me. Yeah, Michael Joe says, I want to explore Pamela's childhood backstory. That could be interesting as well, because given that she did have Jason at a very young age, you kind of, it makes you want to wonder her upbringing. Why did she have Jason at such a young age? I don't want to bring this up, but was she assaulted by a she was oh hold on, I seen the lag. Give me 1 second. Yeah, it's lagging. Okay. Okay. Play musical chairs with the remove button. Okay, so hopefully this bad boy is done with its little lag session. But yeah, I mean, there could be things there to explore, especially in how she got pregnant so young. So there's definitely some things to explore, Michael Joe, with the backstory of Pamela Voorhees. And it's going to be interesting to see if they do go that route, first and foremost, to explain Pamela's backstory before they get to Jason's backstory. Good stuff. I like that. Bucket says it would need to be Jason before he is a killer. Well, yeah, I think they are going to explore that. They did, like I said, they said it's going to be exploring the life and times of Pamela Voorhees and Jason Voorhees. So I think that that's a clear indicator that they're going to be showcasing Jason before he turned into the killer that we know and love. Lucas says, do I need 13 hours to more in-depth versions of how to get the same outcome? I just feel like it's just not enough, which is probably why they are doing a prequel. Maybe so, man. Maybe so. You might have a point there. That's probably why they're doing a prequel. And who knows? What if they find a way to have a different outcome? It's very unlikely, but you never know. I say it all the time. Let these creators create. For better or for worse, let these creators create. It's the only way we're going to find out if the content is going to be any good. Yo, Michael. Yo, you ain't right for this one, man. You ain't right for this one. He said, imagine if they said Jason Voorhees' dad was Freddy Krueger in the comic book. Freddy versus Jason versus Ash Williams. Freddy is holding Jason on his lap, reading him a story. Oh, I like it. That's funny. That would be fucking nuts if they were to reveal that Freddy Krueger was Jason Voorhees' father. That would be insane. I obviously don't think that would ever happen, but man, I mean, you talk about getting fun. I mean, that would be fun. I mean, you can hear the trash talk that Freddie would be talking to Jason. I'm your father, bitch. Now bow down, or some shit like that. He would eviscerate Jason even worse than he did in Freddy versus Jason if Jason was his son. Like, he would pick on his brain so bad. Like, oh man, that's great. That's great. Oh my god. I can see it. Oh man. Uh Come to Papa, Jason. uh Time to tuck you to bed. Oh man, that would be great. I love it. I love it. That's some good stuff, Michael Joe. I like that, man. That would be very interesting. Rusty says, would love to come on the channel sometime and talk horror. If you're ever needing anyone, bro, you got some great insights on things. Yeah, I definitely do. Excuse me. Want to start getting some live streams back on with some guests. I am trying to put that together. Again, it's just more or less I'm trying to figure out if my work schedule is going to remain the same. Because if my work schedule is going to remain the same, then obviously that makes it a lot easier for scheduling days and stuff like that. So I know exactly which days I'm gonna be able to have to bring guests on streams and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely, Rusty, we can definitely work together and do a stream or a few streams, down the line for sure. I'm not against that at all. No, I love talking horror. You know what I mean? And I greatly compliment, man. I definitely would love to do that. I would say I think I know next week for sure. I'm trying to see because this is the last podcast episode of the week. However, I am trying to fit, if not two, one more live stream in this week. So, and I would like to have guests on that one. So that's something we can definitely talk about. Rusty, if you have an Instagram account, shoot me a message on Instagram and we'll definitely talk. And if you're interested, Russ, maybe you can be a part of the um the glow in the dark party. I gotta send out my invites and all that and see who all can make it. But we can definitely, we can definitely put something together, man. Would love that. You make a kind of good point, Blucka. You make a good point. Who wants to see Jason's dad just being some average Joe abusive drunk when you can have it be Freddie? I agree with that. Oh man. Oh my god. Like, that's so true. Like, that would be so fun. It really would be. That would be a really fun time. It would. I like it. And it would be a really creative way to get different. It would be. Michael asks, Marcus, what is your schedule? Well, right now, it is looking like my schedule is going to stay the same. However, I do know the week when Scream 6 drops, that week it's going to be a little different, maybe, because I scheduled off for that day. Yeah, I won't working that day. You know what I mean? I'm not working that day. You know what I mean? We got a movie to go watch, and we're going to have content to be talking about that night and stuff like that. But I don't know if they're going to keep my schedule the same and just give me 3 straight days off, or if they're going to add a day that week. However, right now, my schedule is basically I work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'm off Wednesday. I'm off Thursday. I work Friday, Saturday, and then obviously Sunday, as I just said. But the thing about the weekends is I work all fucking day. I work 10 plus hours. And as you know, that can be very taxing, which is why it's been very difficult for me to even do content, on the weekends because, I'm at work all day, and then when I come home, I'm not gonna lie, I'm spent. You know what I mean? Because I move around constantly all fucking day. So it does get challenging and get difficult. However, live streams are a little bit more easier because I can already kind of preset it. I don't have to do certain things like you would do with a video. I don't really have to edit. It was just, what I mean, add certain things and then come on and chat. So that's what my schedule is right now, Michael Joe, is I'm off Wednesday and Thursdays, and then I work every other day. Oh yeah, Bob, definitely. You already know, my friend. You already know. I already know. I don't got to say anything. If you know what I mean. If you're down to have a stream and talk some horror, I know I could hit you up and stuff like that. And that's what I'm saying. Like I'm just basically getting my feet wet back in again with the live streaming and stuff like that. So we are definitely going to be having more streams together, Bob, in the near future, and as well as some other guests as well. I want to do some get together with obviously Craven Knight, the entire Lethal Collective, Brandon from I Like Scary, Russie, you know what I mean, who just mentioned something, Destin, you know what I mean, got to catch up with Destin. I got to catch up with everybody. That's why I want to do that Go to Dark Party, because I want us all, even if all of it, everybody can't stay the entire night, I want to be able to have people come in, and still have, get their shine and come in and talk some Scream 6 on the Glow Party and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely going to put that together and we'll work it out. Hopefully, everybody would be able to make it. But all right, everyone, we are winding down on this stream. I greatly appreciate everybody who stopped in and hung out and talked some Crystal Lake with me, as well as a little bit of Scream 6 and some Mia Goth and Shia LaBeouf conversation. I love it. I see. I'm not going to lie to you guys real quick before we end this stream. This is what I love about conversating with you guys, even if it's like a certain live stream, like a certain topic we're talking about, we could veer off for a couple minutes about something else and then hop right back into what the stream is mainly about. I like that. I like being able to do that because I don't want to sit there and ignore. If you have a burning question about a Scream or anything else that, I'm not obviously doing a Scream live stream, but if you have a burning question you want to know, I'm not opposed to answering that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm open to that. You know what I mean? As long as we can obviously get back to the topic at hand. And that's something we actually do pretty well here, when we do these live streams. I like that. But we are definitely winding down. I greatly appreciate you all for stopping in, showing your love and support, and just conversating with me about some Crystal Lake and some other things as well. And if you haven't done so already, which I'm sure many of you here in the chat have already done, but if you haven't, do me a big favor, shoot this stream a like. It helps out with the channel a ton, as well as if you are a new viewer that happens to come across this stream when it ends, or if you just are popping in now, become a member of this. Well, I'll say member because I'm not monetized yet, but become a subscriber to the community, as well as shoot the notification bell and get notified on all the latest content updates and notifications. We're trying to grow this bad boy here. I would love for you guys, any new viewers, if you're a fan of horror, if you're a fan of Friday the 13th, if you're a fan of Scream, anything horror, subscribe to the channel, get notified, all that good stuff, and join the community, this ever-growing community here on YouTube. Like, it's amazing to see in the year, basically, I'm creeping up on a year that I've been doing videos like consistently on YouTube and stuff. It is amazing to see how fast this community is growing. It really is. From people that, like myself, who is just normal fans of like Craven and all of them in the chats, who have decided to make their own channel and stuff like that. Like, it is such an amazing movement to watch. It really is. I love it. I love every single one of you guys. I love this movement that we are creating here on YouTube. And I'm excited to see it build and grow and go further down the pike. I really am. Bluckus says, I'm just a stoner who's down
random rabbit holes. I can relate to that. I can relate to that. I feel that I felt that in my core, man. Honestly, I really do. That is so funny. That is so funny, but it's so true. Honestly, you love it. It's fun. You know what I mean? It's fun, even if you know for a fact you're not going to be right about what you're theorizing about, etc. It's good to have that confidence in what you believe in enough to talk about it and to express it. And it makes for great conversation. Even if you don't agree, it makes for interesting and great dialogue. It really does. Oh, Blugga says, I'm like a dog in a window of a car, jumps out at the first sight of anything. I know that's right, bro. That's like my dog. Like, literally, you just described my dog, Don, to a T. Like I said earlier, this dog, he loves to get out. He loves to be outside. He loves to roam around. As soon as he sniffs air, pew, he gone. He is gone. It's crazy. But all right, everyone, we are going to wrap it up here for this stream. I greatly appreciate you all stopping in. As you all are well aware, this is I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel. I'm Marcus. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon as well. Thank you all for watching. And P.S., real quickly, I am going to have some updates on a new podcast for Patreon as well. So stay tuned to the channel for updates about that as well. But all right, gang, I'm going to catch you all later. Everybody have a blessed evening. Stay safe out there, everyone.
You are now watching I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel.
I shot him 6 times.